Mises makes a curious comparison between the entrepreneur and the historian. He says that the historian finds himself in a very peculiar situation. The historian faces a huge mass of historical data, which is enormously complex, both qualitatively and quantitatively, and he or she tries to make sense of it. To do so, the historian must be alert. He must be able to select the items he believes were of crucial importance or determining factors in the historical events he is studying, and order these items in terms of significance. The historian is not a scientist, but rather an artist. History is an art more than a science. Two historians who are equally honest, and neither of whom has any desire to distort history, may attach more or less weight to the different causal factors they consider most vital, and thus they may present different versions of history, but their versions are not necessarily false as a result. So, Mises tells us that the alertness the historian develops regarding the events of the past is very similar to the alertness the entrepreneur develops regarding the events of the future. And as you know, the future is not to come, but to be made. Good, we understand each other. So, according to Mises, an entrepreneur is someone who looks, as it were, with the eyes of a historian into the future. What a lovely definition. And, believe it or not, if professional historians reflect on the idea we are developing of entrepreneurship, they will discover that their work is essentially entrepreneurial, and that if they apply their abilities to the future, they can become magnificent entrepreneurs. This is simply an example of the exercise we did here. Do you remember when we closed our eyes and we recalled the most satisfying moment from our summer vacation? Immediately afterward, we closed them again and we imagined the future. Both times, we performed exactly the same action. There is no difference in our minds between recalling the past and imagining the future. Well, if we apply that to what we have been discussing, we see why Mises defines an entrepreneur as one who looks with the eyes of a historian into the future. However, I would like to put a finishing touch on the message of my teacher, Ludwig von Mises. So, I am going to offer a further definition. I do love the one Mises gives us. An entrepreneur is someone who looks with the eyes of a historian into the future. That being the case, I am going to complete his definition by defining a historian. A historian is one who looks with the eyes of an entrepreneur into the past.